This is also with a new scrapbooking process video, and today I'm sharing a mixed media piece with one photo of me and my hubby, and this photo was taken this summer when we visited one of these really nice seaside, like in the outer archipelago where my mother lives. She doesn't live in the islands, but she lives close to the coast, and we can go to visit some of the really coastal or archipelago-like places by car. So we did, and we had a really nice time there, and the sun was shining. It was a bit chilly, but we had a really nice time there and looked at all the beautiful environment there. I'm starting this project with one of these pre-gessoed paper that I keep in my mixed media stash, and I'm going over it with some modeling paste and a bunch of different stencils that I've made myself. I make my stencils out of the overhead plastic that you used to write on for school before computers entered the classroom, and I cut using my Silhouette Cameo. When I had let that dry, I gathered up a bunch of Neocolor 2 crayons, and I'm just putting paint on my work surface there, and I'm picking it up with a water brush, and I have chosen colors from the whole rainbow practically, and I wanted to match this 6x12 piece of pattern paper that I got from from Simple Stories, their summer collection for this year. And I really love that background that's on that paper. There's also a paper that has the whole sheet in this style, and I've seen lots of people use it, and I don't think if I ever will be able to use it, because I think it's so pretty. But this piece, which had this summer text on it, I thought it was a nice beginning and get this color theme going on. So I'm just coloring with a water brush on top of these different textures that I created with the stencils and the modeling paste. I'm having a little helper there who thought it was really nice to just put paint or color on the work mat there. I think she felt like it was really something that was forbidden, so she liked it extra much. And here is the piece that I will continue with, just cleaning off my work surface there. I'm wiping some of the excess paint off with a towel, and then I let it dry. And now I'm back with the dry piece of paper, and now I'm going to put together the foundation of this page. I will be using liquid glue or hot glue, because I think it's the only type of glue that stays in place on these gesso treated papers that I use. So hot glue it is, and I know that you shouldn't place it on your photos, but I'm doing this for the fun of the process, and I hope that it will last a couple of years at least, so that we can enjoy it in the album. But if it's get a little bit discolored with age, I can live with that. Now I'm going through some of those summer vibe die cuts to see if there are any that I can use on this page, and I found a couple of hearts and arrows and a pie chart there, and I'm not really sure if any of those will actually make it onto the finished page, but for a long while they stayed there and gave some more intense color to the page to kind of break up the softness. It was needed to get some definition in color and also in contrast. For this not to be totally pastel-y, dreamy, rainbowy, just cutie. It had to have some kind of edge. I'm trimming off some of the edges there because the background paper and that 12 by 6 piece didn't have the same measures, so I had some edges that I needed to trim off. And now I start thinking what to do. With a background like this, I didn't want to cover it up with too much stuff, so I wanted an embellishment that was pretty light, or that could float on top of everything and not get in the way of the other things that I wanted to keep. So I thought, what about something transparent? So I gathered up a piece of vellum. It's white vellum. It's really nice in texture. It's got some. It's not a pattern, but it's a bit cloudy, so that you can see different like fibers in the texture. I think it's adorable, and I'm just going over it with a punch, making it look like a notebook, like the stuff that you you pull it off the spiral edge. And those pieces I will use as kind of borders on the page, and they will go onto this larger element from Simple Stories, and also over my mixed media half of the page. And I'm just staple it in place with my ordinary office stapler. I don't have one of those tiny attachers, even though it's on my wish list for the future. Now I'll be fiddling around a lot with the small die cuts, and I will also bring out some photo stickers. I bought photo stickers in the beginning of the year, and I absolutely fell in love with them. I bought from Simple Stories and also from one of those other companies. I really don't remember at the moment, but I think they are really wonderful to work with, because you can place them on top of just everything, and since they have transparent edges, you see through. If it's a text, you can see through the actual sticker, and you only get the text. So it's almost like a rub-on, but so much easier. So that I'll be using, and I'll also be using some stamping to make this a bit more easy to watch, and also a bit more kept together, and like everything belongs together. The stamping and the stickers and the small embellishments makes the lines on this page a bit less sharp, and it will bring the different parts of the layout together, like a bridge between the messy and the super clean piece of the element piece there with the text on. So I'm just trying a couple of different versions of or ideas that I have, and it's a lot of fun. It's hard, but it's the fun part of this process, I think, the embellishing. Before, or like a year ago or so, I mainly stopped when I was when I had finished the background, and then I didn't embellish at all. So my pages from 1 or 2 years back, they are super clean, and the background pattern paper has the whole it takes the whole attention of the project. But then I started watching Nicole Jones 911 and Shimel, and they both embellish a lot, and it's almost like their process doesn't even begin before they start with embellishing, and it inspired me a lot. And since the industry has gravitated towards embellishing a lot, of course it also has been affecting me, and I really think that I make more finished projects today, and they are done when I'm done with them. When I go back and look in my albums, I have lots of pages that I would like to embellish more, but I don't think that I'll ever do that. Now I got an idea. I wanted something floaty, and it became a banner. And I'm using branding strips from the Simple Stories summer collection, and I'm cutting them in smaller pieces and placing them on the same size pieces of white cardstock. I cut those the same size, and now I'm placing just random pieces of these branding strips on top of them. So I get kind of flags that are a bit wider than the branding strip. And I will also add one more element on these flags later, so that they become even more like special and finished. So this was a really nice idea, and I hope that I will remember to do it again, because it was a fun way to use up these just odd pieces that I had left from the branding strips. I really appreciate that the companies make these beautiful branding strips that you can use as embellishments, and I think that they can develop the concept even more in the future, and perhaps add labels and the tags in the branding strips that you can use, and that would be really fun, especially labels. I think it would be perfect size for labels to tuck in your layering and under pieces in your projects. Now I'm using my thin washi tape in a bunch of different colors, just to add a border on each and every of those flags. The colors that I chose are just the ones that I used when I made my mixed media piece, and of course I have all the colors of the rainbow on this project, so I just needed to vary myself so that I have more than a couple of colors. I want them all. So there's a bit of pink and a yellow and green and blue and everything. And now I realize that there's too much going on at the top. So I took away those arrows and hearts, and I didn't get that on a video, but you see that I placed them below the photo. So I have 2 rows of hearts and arrows at the bottom of the page, and then the banner will be pretty much alone on top of the page. So now I'm placing every second of those flags up on foam dots, and the rest are just adhered normally with my normal adhesive. And I'm placing also a piece of string so that the flags have something that connect them, so they are on a string. But I don't adhere them to the string, only just kind of on top of it when I'm gluing down the flags. So that was I think always thinks it's a hassle to do this string part, because in a way you need something that connects those flags, because otherwise they'll be just hanging randomly in the air, and I think that a string is the best way to do it. But of course you can perhaps let them hang from the edge of the paper or something like that. But for me, that who likes to work with string and yarn, this is the best way. I also like to leave the edges of the string so that it gives a bit more movement to the page. So I try to make a couple of loops there and glue them in place so they look natural. That's not the easiest thing to do, because when you want thread or yarn to fall naturally, it's mainly those things that it will bundle up and look just as awkward as possible. But if you just have a bit of patience and try to make it look natural, it will look the best. Follow the yarn. I thought that I needed some more texture or another kind of shine to this page, so I will use my homemade enamel dots or plastic dots. I made them from perler beads, and I will put one white dot on each of those flags. I have a problem getting these to stick. They stick perfectly at first, but then when I have the pages in my album, I tend to notice that they come off. And I realize that it's because the dot is very hard and the glue dries hard, and when those two surfaces are put under some kind of pressure, or the page is bent just the slightest, they pop off. So I think that the best way to adhere those plastic dots is with some kind of glue dot, which is a bit more flexible and it doesn't dry super hard. So I will try that and get myself a bunch of mini glue dots. Here is the finished page and some close-ups. And you still see those staples, but I don't think that's something bad. I actually think they bring something to the layout. I don't mind that they show. I have stapled selfie, and I have stapled, selfie is one of those stickers. The date, I've stamped the date with roller stamp and added a couple of those transparent stickers. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed this process video. Take care of you and come back soon. This is Åsa. Bye!